Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all. If any network issues, please let me know through the chat box. In today's class, let us discuss few more vector concepts. In the previous class, we have dealt with how to represent a vector, its magnitude, and the unit vector, how to calculate the unit vector. And I had given some work for all of you as an assignment regarding vector algebra, how vectors are added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided. And even this heading, you can see it on the screen, the resolution of vector, how a vector is resolved into components. Even this was the assignment, but let me brief you regarding this. This may be useful in further concepts. So let us start with vector components, or how a vector is resolved, splitted. Okay, any vector which is directed at right angles to the horizontal and vertical lines can be thought of as having two components. You might have heard about this, vertical component and horizontal component. If you take the two-dimensional rectangular coordinate system, let me draw it on the screen. It's here, it's visible to all of you. If you consider this is the first quadrant, if you have a vector directing like this in this direction, we can think of this vector to be resolved into two components. One is the horizontal component. If f is assumed to be a notation used for vector, f suffix h, it is indicating horizontal component, and f suffix v indicating the vertical component. Generally, there are two methods we use for vector resolution. Law of parallelogram, if you have studied in vector addition, this one method we use, and one more is trigonometric method. This method I am dealing here now as an example. The component which is parallel to x-axis, okay, if you see, this is your coordinates, first quadrant, this is your x-axis. So a line which is parallel to a line which is a parallel to, please mute your audio, whoever is speaking, mute your audio please. This is the horizontal and vertical component of any vector. We resolve in this manner. The component which is parallel to x-axis is called the horizontal component, and the component which is parallel to y-axis, this vertical, it is called vertical component. As an example, you can see here, if this is one vector, we don't know what value it has, say generally we assume it as x. If you consider this x in terms of a force, if you drag any rope or pull any rope, in the opposite direction the force exists, and assume that that value of force is x newtons. Okay, in generally x newtons, x is the value. Then we can resolve this into two components. One is the horizontal, the other one is vertical, taking those values as fh and fv. And the angle of inclination is 30 degrees. As an example, I have taken 30 degrees. Then how will you calculate this horizontal and vertical component? For that, make use of certain trigonometric formulae. If you remember, sine theta and cos theta we take in the formula as cosine of the angle is given by adjacent by hypotenuse, and the sine angle is given by opposite by hypotenuse. So adjacent is your FH, and opposite is FV. A hypotenuse is your force applied, that is x newtons. So in order to get the adjacent value, take the cos theta, cos angle formula, adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent value is FH, substitute that. Then the angle theta, it is inclined at 30 degrees, substitute cos 30 into the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse value I have substituted x, and cos 30 you can calculate some value you will get, you put that. Similarly, to get the vertical component, sine of theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. We want opposite value, that is FV, divided by the hypotenuse. Similarly, just rearrange it. FV is equal to sine theta into h, sine 30 degrees into h, that is some value into x. So this is how we calculate the horizontal and vertical component. This is the regarding the vector resolution. Okay. Now, important thing, as a note I have mentioned here it on the screen, you can see the first figure shows the different planes in a rectangular coordinate system, or even if you consider a spherical coordinate system, this is a general arrangement of 3 different axes. Okay, it's a 3-dimensional view. Try to imagine this. You can imagine this complete cube as one classroom. Okay, and these 3 lines represents the edges of your classrooms, O as the center point, corner of your room. Okay, and these lines, the shaded parts you can see, these are the walls. This is below the ground level, indicates your floor, classroom floor, and these 2 are the side walls. This one end open, I have shown you how the 3 axes and the planes look like. This is, assume that here your teacher stands, and this back wall represents the wall on which your green board is mounted. Okay, that is x equal to 0 plane, or it is YZ plane. Okay, because x value is 0 here, only 2 axes exist. And similarly, this is your ground floor. Okay, that is z equal to 0 plane or xy plane, and this is the other side of the wall, it is y equal to 0 plane or xz plane. This is how the arrangements looks like. Okay, this is one first figure depicts about that. The second figure shows about the 3 different unit vectors which we associate with the numbers, which we associate with any general vector. This represents the AZ. A indicates a unit vector, Z indicates, that is a suffix. Z is there a smaller value, suffix indicating the Z direction. Unit vector A along in the direction of Z. Similarly, AY represents the unit vector A in Y direction. AX represents unit vector A in X direction. So this is a general arrangement of 3 different unit vectors in rectangular coordinate system with the unit magnitude, and if you just observe their directions, they are all going out. Okay, from the center point originating, they are going away from the center, so they are increasing in their axis direction. So first 2 figures are general figures depicting about the coordinate system, the planes and the unit vectors. Now going to the third arrangement, the third figure. Again, in order to get this third figure, imagine your classroom. This plane is the green board mounted wall. This is your floor on which you are standing. This is your side wall. And here, if you observe, 2 points have been marked, P and Q. How to mark these points? I will just enlarge the figure and show you. a point which is having coordinates 1, 2, 3. 1 is representing the distance from the origin in x direction. 2 is the value, it is for y. 2 is the distance in y direction. 3 is the distance from z direction. So 1, 2, 3 point P, we have to mark it now. Similarly, you have Q value. In order to mark this, you better, if you get in some time, try to construct this physically. You'll understand how to construct this physically. You take some sticks, matchsticks, or probably straw with which you drink juices. Take the straw. With the help of straws, you connect 4 straws in this square manner. That will be the base of the system. Similarly, using 4 more straws, connect it in a cube fashion. So first face will be the top, the second face will be the bottom. Similarly, arrange 1, 2, 3 and the back side 4. So totally how many squares you have to form? Totally 6 faces. A cube will be having 6 faces. Cube will be having 6 faces. So construct using, you make use of straws or matchsticks and construct 6 different faces, and with the help of glue you connect all together, form a cube. Then with these separations, probably 1 centimeter separation, you try to take vertical lines out of it. So again, make use of straws or matchsticks and construct a cube. Probably you have seen a puzzle of different colors which you make use to get similar kind of faces. The kids play with these, okay, somewhat like this, green, yellow, red. This kind of cube is available, right? So try to construct this. You will understand how to mark the points. But still, let me try to make you imagine how to point these. Now coming to the next, how to mark this point 1, 2, 3. For that, first let us start with value 1. Okay, 1 is for x direction, right? So out of these 3 lines, x is this. So move from the center point towards x direction like this. So you wait here, okay? This is point first, 1. Then 2 indicates y direction. So y is this. So from this, don't start again from origin. You start from 1 because we have left here till 1. We have come to point 1. Moving to the x direction, 1 amount we have pointed out here. Then from this here to the positive direction, move till 2. If I take this 1 and 2, this is 1 and 2. So move till 2, you will come here. Then the next point is 3. So then a direction of z, 1, 2 and 3. Somewhere here I should come, but this is indicating starting from 0. From origin, this is till 3. But we have to start from the left out point, that is 2. We have reached here till 2. Move this 1, 2 and 3. So this is the point P 1, 2, 3. I hope you have understood how to mark point 1, 2, 3. So this is how we reached this point. Similarly, let us mark the point Q. Let's see how it comes. In order to get this Q again, first point represents x direction, that is 2. Okay, x is this. So move from the origin till 2. So we will reach here in x direction. Now y is minus 2. This is your plus y, the opposite, that is here, somewhere here. This is your negative direction of y, right? Minus y. For that, again, 2 amount. If this is your 1, this is your 2. I should not start from 0. I should start from where I have left. So move here till this point. You will reach 2, minus 2 actually, negative direction. So I have reached here, minus 2. Then the last one is z equals to 1. So if I take z positive direction, this is 1, this is 2. I should not start from origin. I should start from where I have left. So if I just continue here and just extend this, 1 is this line. So somewhere here I will get the point Q. 2, minus 2 and 1. So in this way, moving from in x, y and z direction, we can mark point P and point Q. In order to better understand this, try to construct that cube, hollow cube, either by using straw or matchsticks. Okay, take this as one small work, an interesting work. You can do it along with your siblings or any kids you are having at home. You use them, give them some all of this glue and sticks and straw. You tell them to construct this. You take their help and build this. It is easy to understand how to mark the points. This is about pointing the these point P and Q. Okay. Now coming to how to find the distance between point P and Q. Regarding that, if you see by red pen I have marked, if this is the distance between point P and Q, it is having certain vector, assume that. So how to find the distance? For that, we can make use of vector addition method. If this is the line, just drag this point, come and join it to the origin. Again, from the origin, this law of triangle, or if you just extend this line and law of parallelogram, you can use for vector addition. Now, how to find the distance between point P and Q? Let's see. This red line, again, I have redrawn it here. You can see it. And this R suffix PQ represents that vector, the distance between P and Q points. How to find that? Using vector addition. Just look at the directions from point P to Q. If this is one thing and this is your origin, direction is in this way and one more is in this way. As an assignment, if you have completed vector addition, you will understand directions matter a lot. We will start with origin, one point from O to P, the other point from P to Q is equal to the point from 0 to Q, right? Direction, this first line plus second line is equal to third line. This is the concept of vector addition. If you observe here, this first line and second line both are having a continuity in the direction. One direction, the same continued direction. The third direction is opposite of that. So 1 plus 2 equal to 3. This is the concept of vector addition. Now let us go further in detail regarding how to calculate the distance from figure 3 and 4. Read this. Symbol small a is used for unit vector. Generally, in your prescribed textbook, Haight and Buck, small a is used for unit vector, and we can identify the direction of unit vector by the subscript used. For example, if I take a suffix x, a is indicating a unit vector and x is indicating the direction of that unit vector, and ay is the unit vector in y direction. Az, all these x, y, z subscripts, they are indicating the direction in 3 different axes. Now coming to that figure, how to find the desired vector between point P and Q. Okay, you just observe point P to Q, this distance vector, that is r suffix PQ. How to calculate? R suffix PQ is given by the distance Q minus distance P. How to find this? Let me just brief it. This is one line, this is the second line, and this is third line. So first line plus second line is equal to third line. First line plus second line is equal to third line. Now what we want? The second line we want. So second line is equal to third line minus first line. What is third line? Third line is RQ, R suffix Q. And first line, it is R suffix P. That's what is written here. RQ minus RP. From that triangle, we have got this. Okay. Now, coming to the values, how we got RQ 2 minus 1, I will give you. Here, directly you can see point. See the points P and Q. From Q to P, distance. See, when we start at 0 point, when we reach at something, say 90 point, I'm just giving you one example, starting with 0, that is starting from your home, when you reach the college, the distance traveled, how you find out? 90 minus 0. You will find out as 90 as the distance. Something like that. If you have started at P, if you reach at Q, you should subtract point Q minus point P. That is the general rule to find the distance. For that, point P and Q are subtracted directly. Point Q minus point P, that too coordinate wise, x minus x, y minus y, z minus z. 2 minus 1, minus 2 minus 2, 1 minus 3. Those points magnitudes are subtracted and we will get this. Okay. This how we can make use of calculation by using vector addition, or I have given how to get that. That is distance what? 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, or 2 is equal to 3 minus 1. Or O, what is O? O is the distance from the origin. See here, O is the distance from the origin. This line distance is OP, this line distance is OQ, this line distance is PQ. That is mentioned here. See here, the suffix are mentioning those lines. Now, how to get this? ROQ. ROQ. So Q point, we know it. O point, we already know. This minus this. 2 minus 0, minus 2 minus 0, 1 minus 0. That is the same. 2 minus 2 and 1. 0, 0, 0 anyhow. Doesn't matter. So we will get this. Similarly, OP. OP, this 1 minus 0, 2 minus 0, 3 minus 0. So same thing we will get, but this negative sign is there. So again subtract 2 minus 1, minus 2 minus 2, 1 minus 3. So you will get this. So again the answer is same. You will get both same. So better you go for vector addition. You will get this vector. I hope you have understood it till this. Any doubts you can ask me. I'll clarify, or I will move to one problem. We will try to solve one problem here. Specify the unit vector extending from origin towards the point G. Say some, if you have coordinates, first, second, third, fourth quadrants, this is the center point, and some, just like how I have shown here, this arrangement like this, some G point is there. Okay, that I have not drawn. Some G point is there. In order to point out, mark this G, you have to again make use of a cube structure. Take the plane, something like this. Take one more Z direction, sorry, X, Z and Y. Then mark the lines, background lines. So distance 2 is indicating in X direction. This is X. So go from this till 2 plus 2, X direction. Minus 2 means in negative direction, somewhere here. From 2 you distance travel towards minus Y. Then minus Z. So it is not a positive direction, negative. Below you should move. So from this you move a little bit below, somewhere here in this you will get point G. So this you take as a work. Neatly you try to draw this figure, marking the point G in the rectangular coordinate system. That is a work. Then once you mark the point, what you have to do is, let me just write like this. Okay, this is your O and this is your G. Point O is 0, 0 and 0. And point G, it is mentioned here, 2, minus 2 and minus 1. So with this arrangement, we need to find the unit vector. So how to find the unit vector? If you remember, in order to find the unit vector, some vector, whatever is given, that divided by the distance formula, magnitude should be used. This formula is used to find the unit vector. So making use of the formula, how to find the magnitude of G? For any vector, the magnitude will be square root of whatever magnitude is there, that square. Whatever magnitude is here, minus 2 square. Whatever magnitude here, minus 1 square. All these magnitudes should be added. This minus 2 is in bracket. So this is how we calculate the magnitude of any vector. Okay, that I have calculated, it is 3. How to find the unit vector? Once you get the magnitude, that vector given, whatever vector is given here, G, that divided by the magnitude. So this is how we calculate the unit vector. So let's calculate. This is the given vector G, 2ax minus 2ay and minus az. How we got this? This is your point O, this is your point G. How you have got this? Distance formula, use it. G minus 0. G is 2. 2 minus 0 ax minus 2 minus 0 ay minus 1 minus 0 az. You will get this. So that you keep it in the numerator, divided by the whatever magnitude we have got, that is 3 in the denominator. That is 2 by 3 ax, 2 by 3 ay minus 1 by 3 az. So this is your given question's answer. So I hope this simple problem you have understood. For any clarification, please put it in the chat box. Now, this problem is a homework for all of you. How many points are given in this given problem? M, N and P. You have to find 4 different values. R is indicating the distance. So what you have to do here? Again, take one rectangular coordinate system, mark M, N and P. This is the first thing you have to do in the solution. Then once you mark these, you have to calculate these 4. What are these 4 indicating? The distance R between M and N points. Then you have to find the distance between M and N, then distance between M and P. Then whatever you have got these 2 vectors, you have to add them. That is the second point. Third is small r is there. It is small r suffix small m. This is indicating the distance between origin to M point. Okay, nothing is mentioned, origin to M point. And this is indicating a unit vector between M point and P point. So these 4 you need to calculate. So homework, I hope you understood today's class. If you have understood today's class, you will be able to try this problem at least. Mark point M, N and P and try to find out these. So please, I'll be putting this question in HRMS, solve it and put back your answer, upload it in HRMS. I want to see your how much you have tried at least. Okay, I don't want the final correct answer. At least try it. If anywhere you have done anything wrong in the solution, let me correct it. At least give me the chance to correct. If you try, then only I can correct it. Okay, please just observe whatever we have done today in today's session. Based on that,